But how did these fires become so devastating? The cause of the blazes was still not clear days after they began. The fires have hit large parts of Lahaina, a beach resort city of about 13,000 people on northwestern Maui, especially hard. It sits in the relative middle of the islands that make up Hawaii's archipelago. What experts do know is that conditions were ripe for wildfires there before they sparked off on Tuesday. U.S. weather officials say winds from Hurricane Dora have fanned the flames across the U.S. state, coming from hundreds of miles southwest of the Hawaiian Islands in the Pacific Ocean. Separately, a low-pressure system to the west near Japan has also contributed to sustained high winds. These all become a serious problem when they reach Maui's very steep mountain range. Fueling that problem, the spread of flammable, non-native grasses brought in from around the world in areas of former farmland and forest. That's created large amounts of small, easily ignited materials that increase the risk and severity of fire. But what about the next big fire? Hawaiian officials say it will take several years and billions of dollars to rebuild the damage brought by these fires. But scientists say human-caused climate change, driven by fossil fuel use, is increasing the frequency and intensity of such extreme weather events.
These humans are grasping for straws. They're still telling the same lies they've been telling, which I told y'all and corrected all of that humans cannot cause climate change. The God of the creation would not have created a thing that can come along and destroy God's creation. That just ain't possible. The reason that everything is getting hotter and climates are changing is because the planet is getting closer to the sun. That's what's happening. They even got well-known conspiracy theorists lying to you. I think everybody is selling out, coming back and lying to you because they're scared. Probably made them an offer that they couldn't refuse. They offered to give them some finance and let them have their life. And so they took it rather than telling y'all exactly what's going on. Listen to what Alex Jones has got to say.
They're testing giving us poison shots. They're testing releasing viruses. They're testing cutting off pipelines and gas and fuel and creating inflation to create the angrier world, to then organize the starving masses into launching their great reset that is the controlled collapse of civilization. So there's a cover-up in Maui, in Lahaina. They know that they didn't trim the trees. They know the trees and bushes fell on the power lines. They know they let the power on. They know they turned the water off. They know they didn't issue the alarms. They know they let the whole thing happen.
Hold up, stop the presses. You know damn well that's not how the fire started. He was told to say all those things because that's what the elitists want him to say. I believe they made him an offer he couldn't refuse, made him come out and start changing his story about everything, go along with the common theory of trees being dried out and the wind blowing and so forth and so on. Yeah, it was times that could have happened, but why didn't they have a fire department? Why didn't they have fire hydrants? Why didn't they have all of the rest of the stuff that they should have had, knowing that it was windy season, knowing that it was fire season? Why none of this stuff was working? Because it was planned that way, because when they started those fires, they didn't want them to stop. Alex Jones has got a lot of stuff to say that's pertinent, but that part wasn't it. I'm going to show you in a minute exactly how those fires started.
And then the police chief who ran the Vegas cover-up, in my view, we know that thing was a cover-up, he's magically there right after they failed to buy the town out from under the people. They're saying the town's worth $5.5 billion. But once they build high-rise hotels, it'll be worth 3 or 4 times that. And we already have the governor announcing that's the plan, and Oprah and all the rest of them. This is disgusting. And Hawaii is the greatest example of a bunch of billionaires, over 100 of them, that have moved into all the major islands and are pushing everybody else out. They want it as their own private preserve.
Jesus, please help us.
This morning, as new videos show the inferno that engulfed Lahaina and how residents spent hours in the ocean to survive, anger is growing. How did the nation's deadliest wildfire happen with no warning?
but we couldn't enter any structures. I know everybody, what's that final number? It's going to take us a while to get there.
Cause of the blaze is still under investigation. Videos shot from the water show both how bad the fire was, but also how strong the wind was blowing.
We're in the ocean.
19-year-old Noah Tompkinson and his 13-year-old brother Milo spent hours in the water, along with their mother, escaping the flames.
It's gonna be okay. It's all right.
No, hey, it's gonna. They basically had no information. It was a generic thing that came over the radio, but no, absolutely no warning at all. And I really felt like this could have been prevented.
I mean, I can't even imagine. Can you talk about
being out in the ocean, not knowing where you are, and then being on fire, not knowing where land is? At points, the current's pulling us out where we can't touch the ground. At times, I remember just telling her to make sure that she saves herself. Don't worry about, if I start drowning out here, you save yourself.
The media is helping to lie to the people. If you saw in that shot, in one shot, the smoke was going straight up. That means there's no wind blowing. Next shot, wind is almost at hurricane force. So which one is it? It's both of them, because when they need to burn up an area, they wait for the wind to start, then they do this. Watch this. The fires in Hawaii was caused by lasers. They have weaponry that shoot directed energy. They call them DEWs, D-E-W, directed energy weaponry. Those are what caused the fires in Hawaii the same way they caused the fires all over the United States just a couple months ago. Don't be fooled by anything else. I already told you what's coming.
And then the police chief who ran the Vegas cover-up, in my view, we know that thing was a cover-up, he's magically there right after they failed to buy the town out from under the people. They're saying the town's worth $5.5 billion. But once they build high-rise hotels, it'll be worth 3 or 4 times that. And we already have the governor announcing that's the plan, and Oprah and all the rest of them. This is disgusting. And Hawaii is the greatest example of a bunch of billionaires, over 100 of them, that have moved into all the major islands and are pushing everybody else out. They want it as their own private preserve.